What's up, future millionaires? It's your boy MTI, and yesterday evening there was a BNB hack on the Binance Smart Chain. Now, the good thing about this is everything is back up and running, and it wasn't an official chain hack. It was actually a bridge that was exploited. So we're going to be briefly looking at a little bit of literature regarding that because I do think it's important to know what's going on, especially if you're in the Drip network, because we know the entire Drip ecosystem runs on the Binance Smart Chain, BSC. So everything was actually paused for quite a while, for some hours. Not just the Drip network, but every single DApp that was pretty much on the BSC chain. So we're going to be diving into that. We're going to briefly look at the faucet in the garden. And then I'm going to briefly touch on why I think we're seeing a little bit of a pullback in the Drip price, as well as the Drip garden. Let's jump into it. Now, as we can see here, the Binance Smart Chain to halt after 600 million BNB hack. You can see the date October 6, 2022. If we look right here just on these parts, an attacker allegedly hacked another BNB chain user for 2 million BNB worth 600 million. All systems are now contained, and we immediately investigating the potential vulnerability, the team says. It is also claimed that all funds are safe. Now, one thing I do want to know, yes, we got these numbers here of 600 million, things of that nature, but we're still not probably going to know the exact amount of what it officially was, but at least we kind of know in a ballpark of what was at risk, right? So if we move over here to what CZ has to say, and as you can see here, he made this statement 6:51 October 6, which was yesterday, and I am Central Standard Time. Now, an exploit on a cross-chain bridge, Binance Smart Chain BSC, Token Hub resulted in extra BNB. We have asked our validators to temporarily suspend BSC. The issue is contained now. Your funds are safe. We apologize for the inconvenience and will provide further updates accordingly. So if we head over to let's just go to BNB chain here. You can see about 7 hours ago, BNB Smart Chain is running okay from 20 plus minutes ago, right? So you can see if you want to get kind of the rest of the updates on the official details from BNB Chain themselves, you can go right to their Twitter page. But if we head over to the Reddit page here, you can see it talks about initial estimates for funds taken off BSC are between 100 million to 110 million. However, thanks to the community and our internal and external security partners, an estimated 7 million has already been frozen. So this is according to this Reddit post. And if we head over to Telegram real quick, just to see what 𝗚𝗥 has to say. So 𝗚𝗥 says, I'm keeping a close eye on what's going on with BSC. I can tell by the communication, which is going on behind the scenes, BSC won't lose more than 50 million liquidity from the chain, which is a drop in the bucket. They are going to effectively soft fork the Explorer tokens out of circulation. Now, 𝗚𝗥 goes on to say, at the end of the day, what is important is this was not a protocol level exploit with BSC. It was just another bridge exploit, and Binance acted fast to limit the damage, something which would not have been done on another chain. Also, Binance is the most well-funded exchange in the world and have more than enough treasury to put back the liquidity into BNB. They likely won't make a big public thing about putting it back, but instead would just support the BNB price as they already do. Now he says, I see people making a stink about centralization of the chain, but all other chains are just centralized where it matters, but are not run by people who have the balls or skill to act when it counts and save investors' capital. None of this affects us from a technical perspective. When they unpause, everything will pick up exactly where it was prior. So shout out to 𝗚𝗥 for making this statement, and this is in the Drip Telegram, and as you can see, there's over 33,000 people in the Telegram. So if we head on over to the Drip faucet here, you can see the price is around 615. The price was actually like 599 like maybe 15 minutes ago, a little bit before I started recording this video. Yeah, you can see right here, price was around 599. So price is around 615. We head over to my faucet here. You can see I have 2,815 drip. I'll be compounding here in about 30 minutes or so, which will put me a little bit closer to that 2,900 range. I have about 8 days, give or take, until I reach that 3,000 drip milestone. So Pretty excited to reach that small milestone. And now as we head over to the drip garden here, let me do a quick refresh. Now, as you can see, I have about 2.9 million plants. After today's compound, I will be over 3 million plants. Now, since the garden has taken a big hit, I was going to start taking out like a 6-to-1 strategy as in profit to try to take back my initial doing a 6-to-1 strategy once I got to about 100,000 plants per day, which would be roughly once I hit 3 million plants. So if we head over to Farmer's House, you can see I'm around 97,000 plants. And so after today's compound, I'll be probably around 98, 99,000 because it's not a full 97,000 I'm compounding because I've been compounding twice per day just to try to keep up. But because of the contract balance draining, or I wouldn't say draining, but because of people are taking out the LPs to put them in the farms, we saw that hit. Because people are, selling drip as well, we saw that hit as well. So you can see the LPs have fell under 9. Contract balance has dropped, and all of that's going to affect your ownership. It's going to affect your total asset value. It's going to affect everything else as far as like your numbers that you can actually earn, right? And so with that being said, if we're talking about the garden in regards to everything, I think a lot of this is pertaining to the farms and the pools, which comes out October 18th, 11 days. And so a lot of people are selling drip to get BUSD, and a lot of people are taking these this pair here, drip BUSD, out of the garden just to have in their wallet, so that way they can put it here. Because think about it. Let me give you a brief example, and let me try to explain why the farms and the pools is so powerful. So if we head over to, we head back to the garden. So as you compound in your garden, you're adding more LPs. You're locking more LPs into your garden. However, you can't take that out all at one time. You can only take out the up to 3% per day, wherever your daily rate is, right? However, if you go over to the farms, they're not locked. So say, for example, in the garden, you start at 10 LPs and you're just compounding and compounding. Say you get up to 500 LPs, right? Well, it's locked in there. You can pull out 500 LPs over time, not all at one time. It's only that up to 3% per day in the garden because it's locked in there. Just like the faucet, you can only pull out that 1% per day. In the piggy bank, you can only pull out that up to 3% per day, right? So when you look at the farms, though, and the pools, but right now we're talking about the farms. Let's say you've accumulated 500 LPs here in the farms, and let's say it grew in a nice amount of value and you wanted to take some profit on that. You can take out all 500 LPs all at one time. Why? Because it's not locked. This is the power of the farms and the pools, and this is why a lot more people with money will park money in here because it's not locked. So that means they're going to invest even more money. So a person that may wanted to invest 100,000 may not wanted to invest it because they couldn't pull it out all at one time. They had to pull it out over time. Whereas with the farms, they can invest that 100,000, maybe see a 50% increase at 150K, and then take out what they need to all at one time. That's the power of the farms and pools, and this is why people are so pumped about it. So I'm just kind of giving you an example. So this is why I think we are seeing the pullback in the garden. Because if you look here, LPs have definitely dropped. It went up to 516,000. It's now pulled back, 16,000, almost 17,000 LPs. And that's because people would rather put their LPs in the farms where they can pull it out at any time instead of putting it in the garden. However, people are still going to come back to the garden once these are fully open, right? Because this is going to still give you that up to 3% on leverage on drip BUSD, right? Because the garden is going to earn you those LPs, whereas the drip BUSD LP is going to earn you pigs. So this will be a different strategy, but this is what people are doing. People that are whales in the system, they want to acquire pigs, and eventually this is what I'm going to be doing as well, putting my LPs in here. Instead of buying them at 131, I just go ahead and earn a yield on those pigs. And once I add a certain amount of LPs in here that I'm comfortable with, I move to a different part of the ecosystem and become a whale in that and one side, and then I will focus on I'm comfortable, and then once you do that, and then once I do that, I will probably focus on another part of the ecosystem as well, and just set up, infinite loops of money. So if we head over to the faucet here, all of this is being reflected on people selling drip as well, because of you got your normal people that's going to sell. Absolutely, there's nothing we can do about that. Let them people sell. But you got people that's also selling to pair with BUSD. Instead of adding additional BUSD with drip for the LP, they're actually selling drip to buy BUSD and then pair it, right? So you have people doing that as well. So that's going to add a little bit extra selling pressure. And then one thing that a lot of the community has said as well, I got in February. So I got in at the $94 price range, but I also got in at the decline of everything, right? So with that being said, a lot of people said there was a nice decline in the drip price prior to the farms and the pools opening. So based off of history, you can kind of say that same thing is happening. And so one, I think we have more selling pressure. Of course, we have more selling pressure. That's why the price have been going down. But I think it's all because of the farms and the pools. That is why. I'm still compounding, and now we can see actually the price is still moving up. It was 615 earlier. It's now 621. And honestly, as the price was falling, I was like, man, if the price falls, a little bit under $6, it hit $5.99. If it would have fell a little bit lower and I could have caught it, I wanted to actually buy a little bit more into drip. That's just me personally, because I think this is a great opportunity, just my personal opinion. But if I'm not able to buy before the farms and the pools open at the price I kind of want, I'm going to just let things ride and just let it keep on compounding. But my goal is, if I can get it at a decent price, which now is still a nice price, to be completely honest. So don't be surprised if you see another video and you see a deposit. But if I don't make a deposit, don't be surprised either. But if I'm not able to buy before October 18th, preferably maybe October 16th, because I believe a few days before the farms and pools open, we're going to probably start to steady out a little bit and maybe start to move back up. That's just kind of my opinion or what I think. Or we could still see a little bit of a pullback. I have no idea, don't have a crystal ball. Either way, I'm still in profit, still earning that 1% a day. And depending on what this price does between now and the 16th will depend on if I buy some more drip, for my faucet. Because the whole goal is getting to that max payout as quick as possible, which also, the quicker you get to that max payout, you're actually lowering your risk the faster you get to that max payout. And so let me know what you all think about, the BSC hack. I don't think it's a huge deal. It's all taken care of. Things were halted for a while. So yes, the drip faucet and things were paused, but if you use drip.formulate, you could actually go there and it will still show your real-time calculation, which was pretty cool. So this was a little bit different video, but I thought it was important to at least briefly cover the BSC BNB hack, because the drip network runs on the Binance Smart Chain. So I thought it was important to at least cover some of the details. Now, before we get out of here, one thing I want to tell you, I've had a lot of people that DM me and even email me and ask, hey, Mike, do you do one-on-one coaching or one-on-one mentorship? And yes, I do. At first, I was only giving it out to, a few people by direct, so I didn't have it actually public. But now I have it public down in the description. So I do 30-minute sessions if you want to do some type of coaching or mentorship, or maybe you just want to talk with me. The link will be down in the description. But shout out to all of you. Shout out to the drip community, and I will catch you all on the next one.